Did you know we've left 96 bags of poo and pee up on the moon? They're from the Apollo moon missions back in the 60s. After collecting lunar rocks to bring back to Earth, the astronauts left the bags on the moon to lighten their cargo load. They've been sitting there in the lunar dust for over 6 decades. Astrobiologists have considered bringing the poop back to Earth and studying the bacteria. They want to see if it's evolved in any strange ways due to the higher levels of radiation the moon receives. Now, if you think that's weird, it's only gonna get crazier. We've left some pretty wild things in space, from kitchen appliances to art made for aliens. Some of the weirdest things are golf balls. In a 1971 mission to the moon, astronaut Alan Shepard snuck the head of a 6-iron and a few golf balls on board. He created a makeshift golf club by attaching the head to the shaft of a piece of rock collecting equipment. Shepard didn't stop there. He went ahead and hit a couple of balls. He said they went a couple hundred meters, so he didn't bother collecting them, leaving them on the moon. In 1977, when Voyager 1 and 2 were launched, a special item was put on board. Carl Sagan and his team created a 30-centimeter golden LP record for each ship. The record came with instructions on how to play it and was intended to be a showcase of Earth and humanity in the event it was stumbled upon by an alien species. The record included 115 images, greetings in 55 languages, and what amounts to a 90-minute mixtape of music throughout cultures and history. Now, the Voyagers are still out there, and it's unclear if anyone or anything has found them. Well, if aliens ever found Voyager and decided to visit us, well, we better make sure the Earth is still safe and thriving. I don't know if aliens drink water, but you sure do, and you need to know that your tap water's safe. Unfortunately, this is where the bad news comes in. A recent studies revealed that nearly half of US tap water could be contaminated with harmful chemicals. Those are the kind of chemicals that don't break down in your body. Yeah, that's concerning. And marginalized communities are affected the most. Did you know that 75% of Black Americans are likely to live near facilities that pollute? And Hispanic Americans are twice as likely to live where drinking water isn't even up to legal standards. What's worse, Congress has redirected $2.3 billion away from fixing our water system. But here's where you come in. Together, we can make some noise and get our leaders to take some action. Let's push for replacing lead pipes and repairing old infrastructure. Join together for cleaner water. We've got to keep the planet safe, right? During a 2006 flight to the ISS, astronaut Pierce Sellers was out spacewalking to make some repairs to the ship. He had to spread a special goo, and to do so, he decided to use his favorite spatula. Before he knew it, Sellers lost grip of the spatula, causing it to drift out into space. Well, if aliens find it, they'll be able to make some eggs or flip some burgers. Now, not only is there pee on the moon, but did you know there's pee floating around in space? Yeah, when astronauts would pee on a spaceship, they'd dump the urine overboard, causing it to crystallize in space and float around like tiny debris. According to astronauts, this is one of the most beautiful sights you can find in the vastness of space. Unfortunately, they don't get to see it anymore. Pee recycling systems have been implemented. They turn astronauts' pee into drinkable water, resulting in less pee debris. One of the very first items left in space was an astronaut's glove. Ed White, an American spacewalker, lost his glove on the 1965 Gemini 4 flight. Unfortunately, the glove is long gone. It was in space for about a month, and then it burned up, re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. Not all items on our list were lost. Some were purposely thrown out. Sometimes NASA deems cargo too heavy to take back to Earth, so things get thrown out into space. That's what happened in 2007. A 635 kilogram tank of ammonia was thrown overboard at a space station. The ammonia was part of the cooling system, but when the AC was upgraded, the ammonia became unnecessary. A year after it was thrown out, it burned up while falling toward the South Pacific Ocean. In 1992, ashes from the legendary Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry ended up in space. It was one of his last requests before he died. A small capsule of his ashes flew up in a spaceship and was then thrown overboard. It most likely burned up in the atmosphere shortly after. Before the Apollo 12 mission, sculptor Forrest Myers had an idea to bring a piece of art to the moon. He decided to take this small ceramic wafer and get 6 artists to sketch on it, one of them being Andy Warhol. Myers could never convince an astronaut to bring the art on board, so instead he convinced an engineer working on Apollo 12. The engineer hid the ceramic wafer underneath the gold blanket that was on the bottom half, which ended up crashing on the moon. Now, we should mention that NASA has never officially confirmed this, but Myers claims it's true. While using a lunar rover to explore the moon, Charles Duke left a family photo of himself, his wife, and his kids. On the back, Duke wrote a message in case anyone found it. "This is the family of astronaut Duke from planet Earth. Landed on the moon April 1972. One piece of art that is confirmed to be on the moon is this aluminum statuette. It's known as the Fallen Astronaut, and it's next to a plaque with the names of 14 astronauts who died on previous missions. When Apollo 11 departed the moon, Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong had to leave over 100 items behind. This was to lighten the load so they could return to Earth. Some of those items included cameras, space gear, and of course the US flag, but one of the more interesting items was a small silicone disc. It was engraved with almost 100 messages from NASA employees, as well as from US and world leaders. These are all pretty weird, but you know what's weirder? Some of the lies you've been told about space. Did you know that the sun isn't yellow, but an entirely different color? What is it? Well, that's a story for another What If.